A man obsessed with the desert. A desert that couldn't care less about the man. An unemployed camera dude, desperate for water.
Finger. This starts and stops. No, this does. The red button starts and stops.
Stone Canyon Adventures presents Stone Canyon in Waterpocket Fold.
Hi, I'm Stone Canyon. Welcome to Stone Canyon Adventures. In this episode, we take you to one of the most remote and awesome places in the deserts of North America, called the Waterpocket Fold. It's a 100-mile-long fold in the Earth's crust located in southeastern Utah, USA. We may affectionately refer to it as the Fold during this video. There are places in the lower fold nobody's been to in decades, perhaps centuries. Not even Dick Clark.
About 3/4 of the Waterpocket Fold lies within Capitol Reef National Park. As in the rest of southeastern Utah's canyon country, there are lots of arches, towers, balanced rocks, hoodoos, goblins, and other strange formations in the Waterpocket Fold.
And, of course, the water pockets, potholes created by erosion that are often full of water and support a wide variety of life forms.
This place is so special it's been nominated by the United Nations for Best Rock Fold and as a World Heritage Site. The Waterpocket Fold is in the Colorado Plateau Desert, which typically has the most beautiful and amazing rock formations of all the North American deserts. It gets very hot here in the summer, but also is quite cold in the winter. This desert supports a wide variety of plants and animals. The water pockets concentrate the available water and thus create even more opportunities for wildlife to not only survive, but to flourish.
Me and my intrepid cameraman, Dusty Drinkwater, will be taking you on a fun and informative tour of this amazing area, while our camp cook, Rocky Pyle, keeps our camp in order.
Boot camp soup. My favorite.
Dusty does great voice impressions, too. By the way, where are you living now, Dusty?
Why?
I don't know, I was just curious. In Arizona?
Yes.
Where?
No. Why?
Why what?
Why Arizona?
I don't know, you're the one living there.
No. Why? A town in Arizona.
That's what I'm asking you.
What?
No, why Arizona?
Exactly.
What?
Never mind.
We're going to explore the southern half of this giant, bubbling, 100-mile-long waterfall. Beans again? This half of the fold extends from the Burr Trail in the north all the way to Lake Powell in the south, a straight-line distance of nearly 50 miles.
We'll start by traversing the west side of the fold, then come back north to the Burr Trail for a tour of the east side. As we go, we'll see cool things like narrow slot canyons, lizards, petrified logs, and much more. This desert is fascinating because you never know what you'll come across.
So, let's go see what strange things await us as we explore the Waterpocket Fold.
We start out where the Burr Trail crosses the western boundary of Capitol Reef National Park. The views here are breathtaking. We're going into the Waterpocket Fold from the west side. The only way for vehicles to get through this area is to drive south on the Moody Canyon Road from the Burr Trail. Eventually, the road heads east, up out of the canyon. This is known as the Purple Hills Road, so named for the purple mud hills along its length. This road is extremely gooey when wet.
Gooey!
And is impassable even to 4x4s. From here, you can see the large mesa called Deer Point. This is the only place we could find breaks in the long sandstone walls of the Circle Cliffs, which otherwise block your way. The Circle Cliffs are breached in 2 places, leaving a small mesa that is a major landmark and can be seen from most places in the southern part of the fold. All the layers that make up the fold were deposited between 270 and 80 million years ago, which includes the Jurassic Spielberg age. Some layers were the result of sediment in an ancient seabed, others are fossilized sand dunes. Then, between 70 and 50 million years ago, a general uplifting event occurred. These layers were squeezed between 2 young mountain ranges so hard they folded upwards like a piece of paper that is pushed from both ends. This is known as an anticline. And now, with the technical details, is our Stone Canyon Adventures consulting geologist, Dr. Jerry Lewis Stone.
Thank you. Now then, sorry, Stone. According to our calculations, E equals MC hammered times the coefficient of the liptoflavin theorem divided by the periwinkle finkascles causing the magmatized rocks to uplift in sort of an uplifting motion here to cause the water pocket to, as they say, fold, allowing our Stone Canyon adventure team to explore the thing with the lifting.
About a half mile before the end of the Purple Hills Road, we start hiking down a small hill to the east to catch an old uranium prospectors road. It leads to the upper reaches of Middle Moody Canyon and eventually reaches a pass where you can go over the top and down into the fold. We found quite a few interesting things in this area. Here's part of a petrified forest, absolutely scared stiff. The stumps still standing in the Chinle mudstone after tens of millions of years. More than likely, these trees were snapped off at the base by a large volcanic explosion. Then the ash from the eruption buried and petrified them. It's not easy being a tree. These particular stumps are rich in the mineral carnotite, an ore of the radioactive metal uranium. It's the yellow stuff you see here. Most of the uranium ore in these parts is associated with these petrified logs. The miners call them rolls. They must have missed these rolls. It doesn't matter anyway because this area was closed to mining in the early 1960s when Congress made it part of the Glen Canyon National Recreation Area. This petrified wood often gives off deadly radon gas which comes from the breakdown of the uranium it contains.
Stone, if it's deadly, how come I'm not getting paid for this?
Well, you get all the water you can drink. Actually, the radon gas isn't deadly in this case because it's only dangerous inside a home or other enclosed space, Dusty. As we hiked along, we saw this beautiful lizard basking on a rock.
Stone, is this thing poisonous? Is it gonna, munch on me or gonna, go Godzilla on me or anything?
Nah, relax, Dusty. That's just a collared lizard. He's not poisonous, but he's a voracious eater of insects and will bite you if you mess with him. If you're a bug, he probably seems like Godzilla. Then we saw an old dynamite case the miners must have left here. It's been over 50 years and the wood is still not rotting because of the dry desert climate. Hey Dusty, let's send a picture of this to Rocky via satellite.
Sure, Stone. Here goes.
Ooh, ain't that something? You know, folks, if you find old dynamite cases laying around in the desert or anywhere, stay away from them. They still might have live dynamite in them. Guess that goes for bean pots, too.
We also found this pack rat midden, or nest. These middens, used by successive generations of pack rats, are often up to 25,000 years old. They hold clues for scientists who are studying the paleoclimates of this area. They contain pollen grains and other plant materials that help scientists understand what the climate and vegetation was like in ancient times before the Flintstones debuted. This helps us understand how humans have affected the plants and animals of the canyon country over the years. There's a distinct change in these middens that coincides with the coming of settlers, sheep ranchers, and MP3 players to this area. The middens help us to know what plants were abundant in pre-Flintstones times and how those plant populations have been affected by settlement. Speaking of settlements, we had enough for the day and wanted to get back to the tent for some grub.
Can you imagine how much trash those rats accumulated in 25,000 years?
That's longer than Walt's been frozen.
It's becoming apparent that the most incredible thing about the Waterpocket Fold is the geology.
Periwinkle finkascles causing the magmatized rocks to...
Many of these layers contain the fossil bones of crocodiles and other ancient creatures. Coming upon those 220 million-year-old uranium-encrusted tree stumps was sure a surprise. The beautiful flowering plants we see today didn't even exist at that time. If you look closely at this desert and study it, you'll see there's a lot more to it than meets the eye, as we'll see in our next segment. We'll show you where we're going to go right after this.
First, we'll get up and have some hearty garbanzo bean burritos, courtesy of Rocky.
Ooh-wee! That there's one of the best batches of garbanzo beans I ever whooped up. Could use another pinch of gunpowder, though.
Then we're going to go back north to the Burr Trail, then east a couple of miles past the National Park entrance to an old uranium prospectors road from the 1940s or 50s. We'll go south on this road to It's the back way into a canyon called Muley Twist. Let's go!
The rocks around here contain uranium, but not enough to mine commercially. Prospecting for this radioactive metal continued in this area until the late 1950s. Sheep herders also used this area extensively before it became a national monument. Check out this old sheep herder's wagon a couple of 100 meters up the road. The rats have taken over, so you wouldn't want to go inside due to the danger from a deadly disease called hantavirus. For more information, go to our website. See? It's filthy. It's amazing how the yellow paint has lasted for so many decades out here in the extreme heat and cold of the desert. It's almost as if the sheep herders were here yesterday. Look at this old sardine can. About a half mile up the road from this wagon, the National Park Service has closed the road. We're going into Lower Muley Twist Canyon from the west side, where there's a breach in the canyon walls and we can easily enter this narrow canyon. The walls are so close together at some points that miners and immigrants had to twist their mules to get through. So we parked here, loaded up the backpacks, and headed out into the backcountry. When we reached the main wash that leads into Muley Twist, we cut east down the wash. We went another 3/4 mile down this wash, almost to its confluence with the Muley Twist Canyon. From here, we climbed up the steep layers of mudstone towards a curious gap in the gap in the wall, to check out a group of rock fins and domes to the south. We're looking for natural arches and other interesting features. As we entered the gap in the sandstone domes, we came upon this fantastic bowl. We then made the rough hike around the west side of the bowl to another gap in the mall, through which we could pass without the use of ropes, climbing equipment, or flying X-Men. This gap is a little over a mile long and comes out at the cliff's edge, where the views are fantastic and we can see the old miners' road below. We decided to check out one of the side canyons that go up into the domes, jeans, and rock fins that line the gap. We discovered quite a few arches in just this one side trip. Here's a nice jug handle arch. We'd better beam this one to Rocky. He loves jug handle arches.
Yeah, almost as much as he loves beans.
Oh, wait! Look at that there jug handle arch. Sure is pretty. Hey, let's play us a song.
We also found this cool arch that looks like a strange face.
Whoa, Stone. This place looks like the party barge scene from Star Wars.
Ipakolo solo. Ho ho ho. Oh, water pockets. You seek water pockets. Help you I will, yes?
We call this one Honeycomb Arch, because the rocks around here are honeycombed with holes. After checking out the fins and domes, we descended through the bowl and into the very heart of Lower Muley Twist Canyon.
Come on, baby. Let's mule and twist.
Pepina!
Come on, baby. Let's mule and twist. Twist and move through the canyon, babe. It goes like this.
In the days before the Burr Trail was built, this canyon was the only way to safely descend the Waterpocket Fold. It spills out into the Grand Gulch and the Hall Wagon Road. From there, it's easy to navigate all the way to the Colorado River, where the pioneers crossed on their way to settle the Four Corners area. We're documenting this large rock spall that fell from the walls of Muley Twist. These trees are not long dead, so this spall probably happened recently. Had anyone been near here, they would have been terrified and maybe killed. Look at the size of these boulders that came crashing down. Here are the impact craters they left as they hit the floor of Muley Twist Canyon. A couple of 100 yards upstream from here, and we're at the confluence of Muley Twist and the side wash we originally started from. Say goodbye to Muley Twist.
Goodbye, Muley Twist. Whatever.
We saw beautiful lupins and other flowers blooming as we made our way out of the backcountry. We're going back to the Burr Trail to get ready for our steep descent into Grand Gulch. To get through the fold, the Burr Trail defends the theory of Thwitsbacks. We don't recommend passenger cars on this part of the trail. But we saw Cadillacs and Hondas anyway. Once we're at the bottom of the Burr Trail, we drive south on the No Tom Road. First stop, surprise! Canyon, that is. There's good hikers arcing there. As per the Stone Canyon rule of always checking out the remote spots, we wanted to find out what's on the other side of the road from the Surprise Canyon trailhead, where there is no trail. The gray layer in this area is the Mancos Shale. Just west of the Mancos, you'll find the Dakota Formation, a yellowish to reddish sandstone that contains billions of fossil oyster shells. It's known as Oyster Shell Reef, and it's almost as long as the fold itself. We figured we had a good chance of seeing a rare cactus that only grows in the Mancos Shale. It's called the Wright's Devil Claw.
Yeah, and it hates being called that.
Yeah, but two Wrights don't make me wrong. Sure enough, we saw some of the little devils. Aren't they cute? Hey, Dusty, pretty good Taz, but try not to spit on the camera, okay?
Whatever.
Oh, we just missed seeing the little devils in bloom. Their flowers are all dried up. We encountered this cool yellow beetle on the Mancos.
We all live in a Waterpocket Fold, the Waterpocket Fold, the Waterpocket Fold.
Plus, here's a coal seam sticking right out of the ground. The pioneers must have found the coal handy for cooking up their beans and rice. Speaking of beans, we're going to have to go back to the tent for lunch and clean the camera up.
As we've seen, this desert is actually quite diverse and interesting. That cactus we saw was an endangered...
Stone?
Yeah, what is it, Dusty?
You, just stepped into today's scat?
Oh, you mean today's Stone Canyon Adventures tip. Today we're going to talk about water. Dusty and I always carry plenty of water when we go out in these deserts. You should carry at least 1 gallon per person per day, that's 4 of these, when you go out in these deserts. It can be very serious business if you don't have enough water, even in the Waterpocket Fold. It may sound ironic, but you need to carry plenty of water if you go to the Waterpocket Fold. Don't depend on the water pockets for water in the backcountry. They can fill up or dry up very quickly. For more information, visit our continuously hydrated website. Next, we'll continue south on the No Tom Road, where Dusty can get great shots of the fold. Plus, we'll be seeing our first set of water pockets, the Cottonwood Tanks.
A little further up the No Tom Road is the Headquarters Canyon trailhead. Since this is nowhere near the park headquarters, we have no idea why it's named this. Another easy, short hike into your choice of slot canyons. This is one of the most accessible and enjoyable wait, I'm gonna get in trouble if I keep messing that up. I mean, these are some of the best slot canyons in the Southwest. Headquarters Canyon Trailhead is almost right at a place the maps show as the Post. We couldn't figure out which of these posts is the real The Post.
It looks like you're pulling the old post-hypnotic suggestion, huh?
Yes, I'm suggesting the post was this one I found on the ground. I attempted to repatriate it, but its karma just wasn't enough to keep it standing.
Yeah, maybe its karma ran over its dogma.
From the post, we head south about a quarter mile. From here, the old Hall Wagon Road, now more like a trail, goes down Grand Gulch towards Halls Creek Narrows and Lake Powell. We're going down this trail about 3/4 mile, then up a side wash that leads to Cottonwood Tanks. Sometimes there's frogs and salamanders in these particularly large water pockets. They dry up in the sand and mud, then seemingly appear out of nowhere after a rain. It's like magic. Park rangers are doing surveys to see if there are any peregrine falcons in the fold. Peregrines are on the threatened species list. There are documented nesting sites in this area. However, they haven't found any live birds yet, but the Stone Canyon crew will keep a lookout. Oh, what you doing?
Shh. We're after the dangerous and elusive striped split-winged desert bloodsucker.
You mean a mosquito?
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cut.
Anyway, they still haven't found any live birds they've been looking for 10 years. The Cottonwood Tanks are easy to hike to if you have a map and compass or a GPS so you know which side canyon to ascend. Water washes down in flash floods with such force that it makes hollows in the rock where the water collects into beautiful pools. They're a great source of water and food for mosquitoes and other wildlife. Check out this swallow. He's grabbing a tadpole right out of the water.
Stone, hold it. Don't you want some sunblock? Maybe about, 200 SPF? I'm thinking like mayonnaise.
I was just showing everybody how to keep themselves from jumping into a water pocket on a hot day. If you jump in, you'll change the chemistry of the water and kill all the tadpoles and the swallows that swallow the tadpoles and the coyotes that swallow the swallows for a living. But it's fun to just run around the water pockets like a crazy fool. This one even has a nice beach. Near here, we found this giant fracture in the slick rock caused by the uplift of the anticline.
Uplift in sort of an uplifting motion.
We also found and documented another nice jug handle arch near cottonwood tanks. Back to the post for a little more karma. Then it was time to get back to the tent for a good meal.
So what's for dinner, Rocky?
Mesquite meat from the Arizona desert.
The fold has thousands of water pockets that are similar to the cottonwood tanks. It makes me think about all the possibilities for discovery of previously unknown features like natural arches, Native American rock art, and rare cactus. This was just the first half of our coverage of the Waterpocket Fold. Be sure to tune in for the second half. The Halls Creek Narrows Slot Canyon will be the highlight of our trip as we explore the Grand Gulch, a large slash in the planet which extends all the way to Lake Powell along the base of the Waterpocket Fold. Then we'll be exploring the somewhat less remote parts of the fold surrounded by Lake Powell. Until then, remember, always carry plenty of water in the desert.